So the logo was drawn with honey, just like drew it onto paper and scanned it, and that was the logo.
Hold up, what?
Yeah, go back to that. Go back to that.
Sticking with it for this long is not like it's not just it's not easy. One thing that I want to do via Raybuck is like design for good and then quit and realized that I didn't really know who I was. So without it, I don't know if I would be here today. So yeah, it's tough, but like if you love it, you'll figure something out. You'll find a way to do it. I'm Jack Raybuck, and I'm tapped in with Uncontested Vision. I love these guys.
Hey, big shout out to all my visionaries out there. Thanks for being tapped in with Uncontested Vision. We feel the love. We see you guys and we appreciate it. This is episode 2 of the Visionary Series podcast. My name is Jaden McKenzie, aka J Mac.
And yes, sir. What's the fucking deal, gang? It's your boy, Super Z the guy, Zarin Michael.
Y'all went crazy on episode 1 with Kai Colors. That's available anywhere y'all get podcasts as well as YouTube. So if you haven't already, make sure you go tap into that. We got a really special guest this episode on the Visionary Series. I'm really excited to get into it. What we got?
Hell yeah, bro. We got my boy, Jack Raybuck. You know, I've been tapped in with Jack for a long time. Obviously, I've been doing music for a little bit since 2015, and just coming onto the scene, I was looking for, creative people to work with, and Jack was one of those guys. And of course, we had to reach out to him for our logo direction. Obviously, we just started Uncontested Vision, so just looking for something to build upon with that, and we gave him the idea, and he killed it.
He
man.
went
So,
crazy.
y'all may be seeing the logo in the most recent videos that
Yeah.
we've been posting, and of course, you're going to see a lot more coming soon.
Most def, and it's really cool. You'll hear a little bit of a fun fact about how that logo was created. It's super crazy, something I've never heard about. Jack is
Crazy.
one of the most talented people I've ever met personally, and I'm really excited for you guys to hear our conversation with him. Hey, shout out all my visionaries, man.
You already know it's your boy Zarin Michael, aka Super Z the guy, and we're here with Uncontested Vision. We got my boy Jack Raybuck. What's up, Jay? Talk to us.
What's up, man? Yeah, if y'all don't know me, Jaden Minshew or Jaden McKenzie on Instagram. Here with Uncontested Vision, here with the GOAT, man. Jack, I think I met you. First time I met you was around the time Fuse One was happening, and just instantly, just first of all, that whole core that you guys had, the fearless core around that time was super inspiring to me, and yeah, all you guys were super talented. So I'm glad to know you, Jack, and yeah, you continue to inspire me as just a creative and stuff like that. So yeah, appreciate
Okay,
it.
bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me here.
For sure, bro. So yeah, just tell us. Obviously, we know you. You know, Jack Raybuck, the GOAT. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you
Yes.
do?
I work full time as an art director. I live out here in Phoenix, Arizona, working as an art director at an agency out here. I moved out here about a year and a half ago. I spent most of my life growing up in Kansas, and that's where I met all of you guys. I played basketball my entire life till I was about 17, and then quit and realized that I didn't really know who I was without basketball. So it was definitely like a multiple year long process of like self rediscovery and figuring out what I enjoyed. Um, and through a lot of different things, I found out that I liked taking photos and making images in Photoshop. Um, all of that turned into me going to school, getting a degree in graphic design, doing a lot of work in music. That was sort of my introduction to design, was designing for music. So album covers, flyers, merchandise, social graphics, stuff like that. And still years later to this day, it's something that's sort of like a foundational piece of my freelance practice, is doing a lot of music based work. So yeah, that's where I met the two of you. Like Jaden said, we had a lot of really cool, talented, super creative people in one space. And I think that period of time definitely helped just get me excited about design and about art. So without it, I don't know if I would be here today, or at least as passionate about the work as I am today. But yeah, like I said, I work full time at an agency out here, and then in my free time, what free time I have, I try to do personal projects, freelance projects, things that I just don't necessarily have the opportunity to do at my full time job, just by nature of the kind of work that we do. It just doesn't correlate.
Right, right.
So having my own freelance practice gives me a space to play and to try and mess up and to learn new things and again work in some spaces that I don't ordinarily get to at my 9 to 5.
Right. So that's what originally took you out to Phoenix. Would be your job?
Well, actually, um, as I was finishing up my graphic design degree, I knew I wanted to move after I was finished because I just had lived almost my entire life in like the suburbs of Kansas, and I just was ready to move somewhere else, see something new people, new culture. And so Carly, my girlfriend, and I had a short list of places that we were really excited about and interested in moving. She actually grew up out here in Arizona, so she was already kind of familiar with the area. And so that's what brought us out here. I didn't even have a job when I graduated. We said we were going to move and that we would figure it out when we got out here. And it just all worked out that by the time we did get out here, I had something lined up. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure, bro. That sounds like a uncontested vision for sure. That sounds like an uncontested vision. Like just, like you said, you didn't even have really things planned for real, but just leaping out on faith and leaping out on that passion for what you want to do for your life. Again, that's very inspiring. And that's how, we've always been able to connect kind of on that level of just what we wanted to accomplish, again, within life. So definitely appreciate that, bro. That's super inspiring to hear.
How do you like it out there so far? So you've been out there for what, 3 years?
like a year and a half. We moved
Only a year and a half. Okay.
We moved last June. Yeah. It's amazing. Like the weather's great. It is 80 outside right now.
Holy cow.
And swim in the apartment pool right now if you wanted to. It's that nice out and a little heated. But the weather's great, the food's great, the culture is really, really cool and interesting. Like a lot of creative people out here in Phoenix. I think the population is way larger out here than in Kansas City. So just naturally you're gonna have more people doing more things.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of really, really interesting creative people and creative practices out here in the Phoenix Scottsdale area. That's really what's the most exciting is there's always like a pop-up event going on that you can go to and meet someone new doing something that inspires you to go and try something new. Like it's fuel for inspiration for sure, just being around like a more vibrant and bubbling art scene.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. And it's awesome to see that someone like you who is so talented is in an area that's super conducive to their creativity, and it's awesome to see that you're still so energized about your passion. I know a lot of people, few people that I came to know around the same time I knew you, that maybe aren't doing music anymore or aren't doing X, Y, or Z anymore. So I love to see that you're still doing that and still super passionate about it, because I was telling Zarin, like whenever I first came to know you and figured out, oh, Jack did that art and that art for that person, and I literally told Zarin, tell me if you remember this. I said, bro, Jack is your Virgil. Did I not say that?
Yeah.
Tell me I'm not capping. I said that shit, and I see it like, what I'm saying? Like if you guys don't know Virgil Abloh, rest in peace, but you're super talented. So I wanted to get into this. You have Raybuck, right? Your
freelance practice.
Freelance practice, right? Thank you. Tell us a little bit about what you want to see come to fruition through that.
So, like I said earlier, well, actually, maybe I'll circle back on what you were just saying. So, sticking with it for this long is not like it's not just it's not easy. Like doing it as long as sticking with it as long as I have has taken a lot of work to like stay excited, stay passionate. Because when I first started, I didn't grow up an artist. Like I said, I grew up playing sports, so I didn't grow up drawing. I didn't have any sort of artistic sensibilities. Like still to this day can't really draw. So like when I first got in, it was exciting, it was new, it was fresh, but as time goes on, it kind of like fatigue sets in, and you're having to find reasons to like sit back down and keep at it, right? Like especially when you can't really see any end game in sight, you don't really know like what you're working towards. It can be hard to sit down every day and draw, or sit down every day and conceptualize and ideate and create images. Um, so anyway, all of that to say that it was hard, and it still is hard to this day to like continue to sit down. I mean, I'm 28, I'm almost 30. So like a lot of people, like I think you said, by now have sort of not given up, but taken the foot off the gas a little bit. At 28, it takes a lot of like concentrated effort to want to sit down
Right.
and learn something new, watch a YouTube tutorial on something to deepen the bag, like whatever it is. Raybuck is the freelance practice, the space where I can make whatever I want, do whatever I want. Again, the type of work that I don't necessarily get to do at my full-time job, things like music related work, branding work, type design, lettering work, illustration work, just the kinds of things that excite me. Raybuck is sort of my playground to play, to mess up, fail, learn, and sort of continually develop my practice and figure out like who I am as a creative. But long-term vision, it's a full-fledged design studio. Again, working probably in more niche like types of projects like the ones that I just described. But ideally I get to a place where I get to work with whoever I want to work with. Like I'm only taking on projects that really, really excite me. But then also one thing that I want to do via Raybuck is like design for good. My last job, I did a lot of work with nonprofit clients, pro bono clients. And it's something that for a while now I've consciously been thinking of, like when I do get this thing off the ground and it's in a self-sustaining place, I want to leverage my talents, whatever talents and skills I have, whatever knowledge I have, to help whoever I can help. Like I think it's really important, excuse me, to use your skills to help others. Like use what you're really good at to be helping other people. So that is definitely going to be a concentrated part of the practice. But yeah, that's, I think, the long of it all, the long story short, is that it's just a space for me to play and to do the kinds of work that I'm not getting to do between the hours of 9 and 5.
I wanted you to finish, but it's crazy, bro. Just because I'm not gonna lie, that exact description literally sounds exactly what I picture for Uncontested Vision, bro. It's just so crazy, like I said, and not trying to I'm gonna double back either, but just to go back to kind of where you were saying of how much it takes as far as the drive that you actually need to want to continue to do this at your age. Bro, I don't know if you know, but like I literally feel like I've just went through the exact same shit as far as me wanting to kind of step away from music, as of late. And I think it's just because, like you said, you just get this fatigue. Like with me, like obviously I'm 25, but I feel like that I'm kind of wiser than my years. So with that, it's like I feel older in my mind. So I'm like, damn, how long is this gonna take for me to actually see the elite success that I originally pictured for myself within the music industry? But at the same time, I had to kind of understand, okay, I know that I'm talented at this, but I have other talents as well. And now I need to figure out how to leverage what I want to do, which is bring value to a community. So bring value to a creative community. And of course, again, like you said, use the relationships I build within that to help others along the way. So bro, yeah, that's super crazy. I definitely, it's called Raybuck. Is it Raybuck US? Raybuck US?
Just Raybuck.
Just Raybuck. Okay. Bet. Yeah, that's super dope, bro, to hear. And again, like you were one of the guys that continue to inspire me as I go through what I go through on my, on my own as well. I kind of just look to guys like you and I'm like, okay, shit, Raybuck can keep it pushing. He can keep doing this. He's still, creating elite things and high level things without necessarily the, worrying about what comes with it, just focusing on that and creating high level things. Like you said, with UV, obviously, we're not looking to post every single rap artist in the city or post every single paint, whatever it is that you do. We definitely respect everybody's creative lane, but it's like, it's kind of our playground to kind of pick and uplift the ones that we actually see that high level and that high ability in. I'm not saying that we're, playing God or anything like that, but just more of from a standpoint of, with us wanting to build a media company, we understand that a lot of the elite talent doesn't necessarily be put in a position to be able to explore the work to a larger audience. So with me, I have a lot of relationships. I know a lot of people. I want to continue to grow that network so that the creatives that we do believe in, we can leverage those relationships to help them in whatever fashion that may be. So yeah, super. I'm not trying to be too long winded either, but yeah, that was just crazy, bro.
I think something that helped me a lot when I first started, I wanted to be like I wanted to be known. I wanted my work to be seen. Like that was really important to me when I first started. And I think creatives, at least early on, could probably relate. Like whether you're making music or art, when you first start making and releasing, you really want to be seen and be heard and like be validated. And so very early on, I was kind of chasing that. Like I want people to know that I'm creative. I want people to know that I have good ideas. I think what really helped me to kind of fight fatigue and wear down is just like reorienting the way that you're looking at your creative practice.
Nice. Yeah.
Like I just needed to find better reasons to be doing the work that I'm doing, like helping other people, bringing other people's vision to life. I think quitting basketball and picking all of this up was the best thing I ever did. Like I never realized that I was a creative person until I stopped playing basketball. And even if I wanted to try to stop, I couldn't. Like there's not a day that goes by where I don't sit down and draw or don't sit down and write or like I can't get away from it. It's something in me that just wants to be making things. So it was a kind of a shift from like, I'm doing this because like I want to be doing things with my friends, but also I want like, you look at like a Virgil and you're like, I want that. I want to be this is like, I'm doing this so that I can be that. But I think again, I just needed to shift. Like I'm doing this because this is what I'm supposed to do. Like again, I can't go a day without wanting to do it. And when I don't have a productive day, it kind of gnaws at me. So I'm now like, this is just what I do and what I'm supposed to be doing. And so, yeah, again, I think that shift in mindset really helped just keep me, there's no not doing this. Like there's
Facts,
no
bro. Facts.
Yeah, I relate to that because I played football my entire life, and some into college as well. And, whenever I broke my leg my sophomore year and, decided to stop playing football, it was a point in time where it's like, okay, I have all this free time now. And it's like, who am I, at the core. So I relate to that, just finding yourself after that sport that you've devoted so much of your time to. And a creation like UV, I think is something that's the embodiment of that. It's like finding your creative passion and actually pursuing that, making that decision, making that vote for who I want to be, who I am as a person outside of this thing is something that I think UV embodies for me. I guess, do you have anything to go into next, Zarin? Because I have a few topics.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, kind of just getting back into two things really quick. One thing you said is, like you said, you didn't know you were creative until you stopped playing basketball. And that's same for you, Jay. It's the craziest thing because we do not really ever believe it, but we really are all creatives. Like if we're all created in God's image, in which He essentially painted an idea and brought it to fruition. That's essentially what we are as creatives, as bringing an idea to life. And just to use an example, like obviously my fiance Taylor, she just painted something last week. It was like for a Halloween contest, and she didn't really, think that it was going to come out cool or come out nice. But at the end of the day, it was like really good. Like, she ended up being top 3 as far as the voting. And I was just telling her, like, again, you don't understand that until you actually try something and do something that's really out of your comfort zone. You may not really get. It's really like shit. It's not until it is, right? It's something that's some like theoretical type shit, but it's not until it is. Like, unless you actually try to complete it, you don't know if you are or not. And but the reality of it is that we all are. And to kind of go back to what Jack was saying as far as what helped him get through the process, for me recently, I feel like what's helped me is kind of just taking the small wins. And for example, like last, the other week, Trey came over. They were in the city, and then I was playing some of my music, and he's like rapping it word for word, and it just made me feel good because I'm just like, bro, that's crazy to me. Like, somebody that I just started building a relationship with over the last couple of years. He knows my music, and it's like old songs that I wouldn't even be listening to right now for myself type shit. So then I started thinking like, well, okay, if he knows it, I know there's another person that has listened to this shit and that's thinking and rapping the same way. So again, that just kind of just made me feel better in a standpoint of just altering my view of what success is to me, because it's all different. We all, success is kind of relative, and it's things that you achieve on a different level. Obviously, I'm on one level now, so success for me in this standpoint would be what I would achieve on this level, and then going on to the next. There are different forms of success of how you achieve greatness within that level. So yeah, just adjusting my view on what success is to me, man, and kind of just where I'm at right now. I'm probably the happiest I've been in my life. At this point, trying to take on this new endeavor and create this company. So shit, that's a win, bro. Obviously, we're still building. We're not there where we want to be yet, but that's success in my eyes.
Oh yeah, it is. That's awesome. Question that I have for you, Jack, is something that I feel like I'd like to gain some insight for my own personal life, even. And that is like, you have a 9-to-5, right? And you also have your freelance practice. Same here, I'm an engineer, and I have a wife, as well, and we're doing this freelance practice as well, or not a freelance practice, but our own personal passion in UV, and we want to build it into a full-scale company, but we're on the journey right now. And with that being the case of really having like a significant other, but having a full-time job and doing your side passion, is it ever difficult finding time for everything, or on a day-to-day, is it ever difficult to split your time to your full-time job, and then come home and have time for the freelance practice and have time for girlfriend as well? Do you ever have difficulties with that?
Yeah, so when we moved here last June, there was probably like a full calendar year where I wasn't really doing any freelance stuff or even like personal stuff, because it was my first full-time job in design, like working 9 to 5. The last thing I wanted to do when I came home or finished the workday was like reopen Photoshop or reopen it. Like the last thing I wanted to do after work was design more. So there was a long period of time where I wasn't doing anything. It was just too much. And again, about a year passed, finally got to a more comfortable place in my full-time job, like understood processes and the systems and sort of figuring things out. And that's when just a little bit of weight was lifted off my shoulders. Now I still work 9 to 5. So like I'm still designing all day. That hasn't changed. But for me, like I said earlier, I do it all because I just love doing it. Like, even if no one sees the things that I'm going to do over here on my end, like that's okay, because I do it because I love doing it. So I'm of the opinion very strongly that like if you really love what you do or it excites you, you'll find the time and the space to do it. And again, I think reorienting, like rethinking what you're doing is really important. Not everything you make has to be like the best thing you ever made. Not everything you make even needs to be shown to anyone else. Like I said, probably 99% of the things I do over here on my end, no one ever sees just because like they're shitty. It takes doing a lot of bad work to get to good work. So I think as long as you're doing what you're doing because that's really what you want to do, because you really love doing it, and because you can't go a day without doing it, like you'll find the time. Some days I'll sit for hours at my computer after work or on the weekend doing something personal. And some days it's just 10 minutes of sitting down and drawing or writing, but like I got to scratch that itch, right? To some extent, like I said earlier, it's not a day that goes by where I'm not trying to do at least something creative, working my mind to some extent, because I don't know any other way at this point. So yeah, it's tough, but like if you love it, you'll figure something out. You'll find a way to do it, even in small increments.
That's a fact, man.
I appreciate that insight. That definitely makes sense, Jack. Man, I just like talking to you. You're a cool ass guy, and I appreciate you for sitting down. Bah, bah.
Go look.
I'm Jack Raybuck, and I'm tapped in with Uncontested Vision. I love these guys. They're creative, happy, fun, loving, genuine people, and I just wish nothing but the best for the two of you guys. So I really do appreciate you.
Dude, same to you,
Thanks,
Jack.
Go Buck.
Go Buck.